Hello friends, in this video we are going to discover the top 10 best cities to live in Europe. The European continent is made up of an eclectic mosaic of countries, each one with its own culture, defining traits, and histories. This rich tapestry of nations is what makes Europe such an appealing place to live. So which of its hundreds of cities should call your new home? Deciding on this can be tough and will depend on what you want out of your new home city. Many places are fantastic for the history and culture they provide, others have become modern powerhouses of their country's economy, something that is great for finding work. While others offer up themselves as perfect cities in which to raise a family. So, if you are dreaming of moving to Europe, it's time to do some research to figure out the best place to live in Europe. Perhaps you're looking for sun, sea, and sand with a pleasant all-year-round climate. Or maybe you're after a rich culture and historical buildings to explore. Alternatively, living in Europe for you might mean being in a lively city with vibrant nightlife, super-fast Wi-Fi, and high-quality coffee. Astonishingly, there are over 800 cities in the European Union, so it's no surprise if you're wondering, where to live in Europe? Kindly make sure to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon before we start this video about the 10 best cities to live in Europe. Now let's dig deeper into each of the top 10 best cities to live in Europe. Number 10 on the list of best cities to live in Europe is Zurich. One of the financial and banking centers of the world, the Swiss city of Zurich offers a thriving place to work and live, especially if you work in the banking and insurance sector. The overall quality of life is seen as much higher in the city, with fresh mountain air, clean streets, the Swiss Alps only a short drive away. Zurich's closeness to the borders of Germany, France, and Austria makes it one of the most international cities in Central Europe and perfect for expats to settle and call home. Zurich neighborhoods are diverse yet amazing, and you'll find something for every taste and budget. Although the cost of living is higher in Switzerland and Zurich, the wages and quality of life balance this out. The notoriously clean city is also a short journey to the Swiss countryside, a place of extreme natural beauty and perfect for an array of different sports and pastimes. Number 9 on the list of best cities to live in Europe is Amsterdam. Once known for hedonism and golden age art, modern Amsterdam has developed into a far more modern and multifaceted city, and one that competes on the European stage. The beauty alone draws many expats to the city. The interwinding canal systems offer an idyllic look that is typical of Amsterdam. This small village escape feeling is one of the reasons both expats and natives love the city. Another reason the city is open wide to many expats communities is the Dutch people's ability to speak the English language. Although learning the local language is common courtesy and will open many new doors for you, the linguistic skill of the natives is an impressive characteristic of not only Amsterdam but the whole of the Netherlands. Families may also see Amsterdam as a great European city in which to live. The cost of living is relatively low and the school system is renowned across the continent. The many parks and green spaces dotted across the Dutch capital also provide ample space for children to play, making it one of the best cities in Europe for families. Although renting is expensive in the city, Amsterdam neighborhoods such as Noord, Zuid and De Pijp continue to be relatively affordable. Number 8 on the list of best cities to live in Europe is Brussels. The Belgian capital of Brussels is an iconic and cosmopolitan city, most famous for being the headquarters of the European Parliament. This status is a perfect reflection of Brussels' multicultural and Eurocentric character. From a professional and career-building point of view, Brussels is a fantastic place to set up home. As the de facto capital of the EU, Brussels welcomes politicians and businesses regularly from all over Europe. This also leads to thousands of business conferences being held in the city every year. Apart from job opportunities, the city has a lot to shout about when it comes to its history and culture, something that makes living in the city a joy. The nighttime of this Belgian capital is also one of its best features. Attracting different societies and nationalities from across Europe, Brussels has become a multicultural and multinational city and one of the best cities in Europe for expats. Number 7 on the list of best cities to live in Europe is Dublin. Capital of Ireland, Dublin has long held a place in the minds of well-trodden travellers as a must-visit place, and with good reason. The palpable atmosphere of the city is something that permeates into everyone, whether tourists or residents of this ancient city. With major companies such as Facebook, Google, Twitter, LinkedIn, Airbnb, and Dropbox setting up in the city, Dublin is a great place for professional expats to settle. The compactness of Dublin also means that many Dublin neighborhoods can be accessed by foot, making it a lot easier to get around. This also means everything is on your doorstep when you need it, a unique feature of living in a European capital. The combination of rich history and modern-day attractions such as the Guinness Factory and Trinity College means there is plenty to see and do in the city while you're not at work. Unlike many other major capitals, it is only a short journey out of the city and into some of Ireland's most picturesque and idyllic scenery. Number 6 on the list of best cities to live in Europe is Munich. As the capital of Germany's largest state, Bavaria, Munich has long played an important role in the history of Germany, and the modern city is no different. Although Germany's third largest city, Munich has the comforting feeling, one of relaxed familiarity and an air of the countryside. This is increased by the greenness of the city. Munich is home to some amazing neighborhoods, over 20 large public parks, including the famous Englischer Garten. The famous German engineering and German organization is seen in all its glory in Munich, with a transportation system that is the envy of all of Europe. Whether it's the tram, buses or train line, you can be at your destination in no time. Munich's location means you can enjoy the rolling foothills of Bavaria and even the ski slopes of southern Germany and return home within a very short time. Home of the world-famous Oktoberfest, Munich comes even more alive during the end of September and the start of October, another reason why Munich is one of the best cities to live in Europe. Rentals in Munich get booked well before Oktoberfest celebrations. Number 5 on the list of best cities to live in Europe is Barcelona. From awe-inspiring Gaudi architecture and fantastic weather all year round to delicious local cuisines and iconic sporting teams, there is much to love about the Catalan capital of Barcelona. Located on the Spanish east coast and looking out to the picturesque Mediterranean Sea, Barcelona is one of the few major European cities to have a beach in the heart of the city. Apart from basking in the Spanish sun, living in Barcelona brings with it its own positive practical points. High-quality healthcare is renowned in Barcelona, and the city is home to a number of primary care centers for a variety of different people. Barcelona's gastronomical experience is another reason for setting up a home here. Placed between the sea and the mountains, Barcelona has the best of all Eastern Spanish cuisines. The city's educational systems, both public and private, are of high quality, and the UB and the UAB are among the 200 best universities in the world. You can find accommodation in Barcelona neighborhoods of your choice through the Homelike for short-term and long-term stays. Number 4 on the list of best cities to live in Europe is Vienna. Another of Europe's most famous capital cities, the Austrian city of Vienna, has been at the crossroads of history for centuries. Modern Vienna still holds an alluring charm and brings in millions of tourists every year. For those who choose to stay, there is much to love about this Central European capital. From an economical point of view, Vienna is one of the more affordable places to live, especially when it comes to renting and the cost of food. Vienna has plenty of incredible neighborhoods and is also known as an extremely safe city, with street crime and serious crime at an astonishing low. As a new arrival, you will certainly feel safe walking the Viennese streets after dark. For those working and traveling across the city, Vienna's transport system is a well-oiled network that is both efficient and relatively cheap to use. Finally, the countryside surrounding Vienna is a haven for hikers, walkers, and those who love breathtaking views. It is only a short distance from the inner city to the idyllic foothills. Number 3 on the list of best cities to live in Europe is Berlin. Germany's capital Berlin is one of Europe's biggest cities and home to a vibrant population that will welcome you with open arms. A city known for its exceptional examples of Germanic art, culture, and history, You can spend countless days exploring all that the German capital has to offer, and still, there will be more. Although one of the world's leading economic powers, Berlin is a surprisingly affordable place to live, and for expats first arriving in Germany, this is a welcoming thought. This booming economy also makes Berlin a desirable place to settle and work, with good working conditions and some of the highest salaries in the world. Not only is Berlin one of the best cities in Europe to find work, but it's also one of the best for enjoying yourself. An excellent nightlife scene full of vigor and life famously precedes Berlin's reputation, and it lives up to this in every sense. In addition, German cities are famous for being pet-friendly. Most restaurants, shops and hotels in Berlin will welcome your four-legged family members with open arms. Berlin is also one of the cheapest major cities in Western Europe. Accommodation in Berlin is way cheaper than cities like London, Paris, Amsterdam, and Munich. Number 2 on the list of best cities to live in Europe is Paris. One of Europe's most famous cities, the French capital of Paris, has filled the imagination of writers, artists, and travelers for centuries. Modern Paris lives up to this reputation and offers new arrivals that gorgeous Parisian experience that many strive for. The bustling streets are home to a palpable atmosphere of café culture and fine restaurants, but also a subtle scene of everyday life that draws you in. Apart from the obvious features that draw in the millions of tourists to Paris every year, the city has more practical positives to those wishing to call the French capital home. Around 30% of French taxes go to welfare and social funds, allowing you to get help on things such as child care and family allowances. The working week is also capped at 35 hours, anything higher, you will be paid extra. All of these things contribute to Paris being one of the best cities in Europe for families. A small downside to living in Paris is how difficult it is to find a place to stay. Don't worry though. Just start your Paris apartment search a couple of months before your move. Number 1 on the list of best cities to live in Europe is London. One of the largest cities in Europe, London has grown at such a fast rate over the past decade that it has become a bustling and highly energetic place in which to live. London is a city made up of hundreds of different communities and cultures, making it a multicultural beehive of a city and the most linguistically diverse city in the world. This is good news for expats seeking a little comfort and familiarity when they touch down in the UK's capital. Besides its overtly multicultural reputation, there's much more to love about the British capital. As one of the economic centres of the world, including the London Stock Exchange, making it one of the best cities in Europe to find work of all kinds. Many major global brands call the city home, and with a tumble-down effect, employment at all levels can be found with ease. It's not all hard work, however. London is renowned for its electric atmosphere in both its restaurant scene, its nightlife, and its famous West End theatre district. Although renting tends to be expensive, you can still find affordably priced apartments in London for short-term and long-term use. So, which is your favorite cities among the top 10 best cities to live in Europe? Well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, click the subscribe button so you can receive more content like this. Post your favorite European cities among the top 10 best cities to live in Europe in the comments below. I'd love to read them, and I'm sure others would too.